5 of you who watched my video last time, see the 5 of you who watched my video, do you know something from the store? Because the other ones are some haters. They ain't where they supposed to be. They're supposed to be watching me at all times. But anyway, thank you for being back. So I'm a little bit hyper right now. I just got finished doing like an amazing podcast, a magical girl podcast. Should be coming out real soon. And maybe I'll be able to post it on my page. I don't know. But it's definitely going to be coming out soon. You'll be able to see it. So what is on the agenda for today? I want to talk about something that has like really been on my mind for a long time, and it might be a little bit, I don't know, a little bit controversial, but I think it's right on time for Black History Month. You know, let's just have this conversation. So, what's been on my mind lately is basically talking about art styles. You know, I feel like on social media, I meet a lot of artists that are just hung up about art styles. Like, oh, I can't start because I ain't got my art style yet. Oh, my art style ain't good enough. My art style this and it. Y'all got to let go of the shackles that art styles have put on y'all. Let it go, okay? Worry about your fundamentals first, and then you can step into your art style, because you can't break the rules until you know them. And I know you're wondering, like, okay, well, what does that got to do with you bringing up Black History Month? I'm so glad you said that. You smart. I'm so glad you said it. So, I myself have struggled with having an art style. See, being the magical girl that I am, I have never been normal. I have always been the one looking up at the sky wondering, are those aliens? Can they see me? I've always been the one looking in the ocean like, are there mermaids? Always wanting to know if hidden in the Himalayas somewhere, are there dragons? That's just who I always been. That's just what I was. I was never like the normal girl. I was not the girl that loved B2K, you know? I was never that girl. So when I was in high school, and I started doing art, I drew mermaids and dragons. Oh my God, I drew so many dragons. And of course, anime, like, because, you know, Goku was always my boy, you know. So I drew that. And I remember people coming to me saying, well, you why are you drawing that? You should be drawing Aaliyah, because she had just passed away. You should be drawing Aaliyah. You should be drawing Nelly. You know, you should be doing that type of art. I was like, okay. And they would not accept me as a talent unless I was drawing these things. So I went through like this phase where I was no longer drawing for me. I was drawing for the validation of others. And I left the magical girl behind a little bit because, you know, I was like an outcast. You know, so when they started paying attention to me, especially when I was like drawing people they recognize, I was like, hey, I'm finally in there. Even I had to pretend, because Lord knows I was pretending. And so I don't know, I guess I kind of lost my way. So when I finished high school and I went into college, I was still doing the same thing, and I would constantly get artist block over and over again, because I was going through this thing of what do I want to draw versus what people want to see. Now, mind you, that entire time I was learning my foundations, because your girl is classically trained in oil paint and portraiture, okay? Don't play with it. Just because you just found me on TikTok don't mean that I ain't been doing this for a long time, okay? So, mind you, the skills are there. But I still go back and forth on my art style. So let's fast forward a little bit. Most people know me for my fashion illustrations. They know me for those. And if you don't Google me, go ahead, Google me. You'll see what I'm talking about. My plus size fashion illustrations. I'm famous. I'm the one who brought the curves to the art. Yeah, so I'm kind of known for that. And I fell on that by accident, because at the time I was doing more gothic art. I was doing the art that had the centaurs, the all this little magical art. Like, I was doing Wizard of Oz and all these different paintings. I actually had an art show called Delusions of a Dream, where it's basically it was like an Alice in Wonderland fairy tale type theme, and nobody showed up for me. Nobody showed up for me. Nobody showed up for me. That's a lie. Some people did show up for me, and I actually did sell a painting. I sold a Rapunzel, beautiful Rapunzel, but it wasn't like the fair that I thought I was going to get. And it wasn't getting the support that I thought I was supposed to get. And so I went through this phase of not knowing who I was artistically and trying to figure out what it was I wanted. Obviously, I wanted to make money because, talent and artistic vision do not fill your belly or pay the bills. They'll cut the lights off right on you and your vision, so you'll have no vision. So I was like, I needed to figure this out. And I was getting nowhere. Nobody was following me on social media. I was not getting anywhere. And also I was starting to feel kind of like ashamed of myself, which is horrible because I was the shit. I was ahead of my time. I was always this good. But I found myself not being proud of my art because my art didn't fit what a Black woman should be drawing. And that's kind of what I would really want to talk about. Do you ever feel like your art is typecasted because of who you are? Because I do. I feel like as a Black woman, I'm expected to do a certain type of art. People want to see me do Afrocentric art. The girls with the afros and the head wraps and the Nefertiti references. You know what I'm talking about? Mind you, I've done those and I've done those well. But even that didn't feel like me. That felt like me trying to be people pleasing. Because I would literally sit there and be like, oh yeah, they gonna love this one. Instead of saying, what does Jonquil really love? And when I switched to doing plus size fashion, like I said, this actually happened by accident. I was drawing in my usual style, my fantasy style, right? And I remember being on the subway, and I'm on the subway. I'm in New York at this time, and this woman was like, "Oh, you could sit." And I was like, "Why are you giving up your seat? That's New York is not they nice, but they ain't that nice. They ain't that nice, And she was like, "Oh, well, you're pregnant," and I was like, Who? She was like, oh yeah, you're pregnant. You can have a seat. And I had two choices. I could correct her and humiliate myself, or I could go ahead and take her off and sit in that seat. Guess what I did? I sat in that seat. I sat my ass in that seat. Because that's what she get for assuming. She gets to stand. Now stand there while I settle in this seat with my non-pregnant self and sit in my own shame. So, but I was like so upset about that I went home and I started drawing girls that actually look like me, because none of my artwork looked like me. I was drawing a lot of thinner girls, and I just posted them on my social media, and people saw it and they just blew up, and I was like, oh, this is my first time. I got 500 likes on a post, and I was like, oh wow, and I like that feeling. So I decided to keep doing it, and then I went out into New York and I met all of these wonderful plus size women who were doing these plus size events, and they were really, they were changing the world. And so I was like, well, nobody's catering to them artistically. Let me be the one. And so if you know how the story went, I went on to being featured in BET, Cosmopolitan, Huffington Post, all the Comedy Central. I did Curvy AF, which was my show, Curvy AF, Curvy Expo, Curvy Con, Curvy Fashionista. Actually got flown to Atlanta by a company to be at some of these events, and to draw people live. And whenever I was doing live drawings, I'd have just women just wrapped around the building trying to get drawn by me, and they would be sitting there crying in tears saying that I was the first person to make them feel beautiful. Do you know what that did to my heart? Do you know what that did to my heart? So I was like, this is my style. This is where I'm going to stay. I have, this is where I'm staying. This is it right here. I have purpose. When somebody would ask me why I was drawing this way, I could say it with power in my chest, because we need representation. I need representation. And this is still true to this day. But somewhere along the line, after doing this for about 6-7 years, I started to miss my magical girls, And I started to miss who I was before this. I'm not the Chanel girl. I'm not the Chanel girl. I'm not the Louis Vuitton red bottom shoe girl. I would much rather wear a Loungefly backpack and pink platform boots. That's the girl that I am. I would much rather watch Pokemon than watch Fashion Week or Housewives, for example, And I was just like, I was coming after 2020. I was just going through the motions of figuring out who I was. Because I don't know about y'all, but 2020 hit a reset button on me. And I thought it was just personally that I was changing, but my art was changing along with me. So my old art style could no longer carry me anymore. And so I went through a phase of not wanting to draw at all. Now I broke out of that phase because I started getting a bunch of commissions. I just got commission after commission after commission after commission. And most of them were all curvy people. And I think after doing 100 of those, I was like, I think I have paid my dues to the curvy people. I'm ready to go back to the mermaids. Now, mind you, my mermaids are thick. They're thick. So don't think I left the body type behind. I kept the diversity, and I went on back to my magical stuff. And now I am back with the same question that I had 12 years ago. Is this the type of art Black people want to see? Is this the type of art people want to see from me? Because I'll be 100% honest with you. Whenever I display my art, people look at the art and they look at me, and they look at the art and they look at me, and they look at the art and they look at me, and they're like, it don't match. It don't match. Unless I'm at an anime convention. My anime convention, they kind of roll with it a little bit. But for the most part, at times I feel lost. Because when I look for mutuals online to, be a part of their group, they all have the same genre of art. They're for the most part, a lot of them draw divas. They paint divas. And I'm in my magical girl phase right now. I'm in my pink phase. I'm in the phase of my life where I'm collecting dolls again. And I just want my work to be magical. But like I said, I keep coming against that brick wall of what I should be drawing. And I just wanted to know, is anybody else out there feel that? Or is it just something that's just in my head? Because I hid my fantasy artwork for years. I actually hid them in a closet for years. And I would never show anybody that artwork. And now, since I pulled it out and I put it on TikTok, everybody was like, where have you been? It was almost like I was ahead of my time. But I'm still kind of scared. So, I just want to know, does anybody else feel that? Now, that's not to say that I'm not doing the art. I am pushing myself forward, and I am coming out with some of the best work I have ever done. But I also feel like my portfolio is two different people. Because on one end, we got the diva, and on the other end, we got the whatever this is. I don't even know what it is. Whatever this is. And so I feel like a joy. Like, I don't know what to do. And it makes it very, very hard sometimes to advertise and market myself because I never know which one to show. When the truth is, it's all me. It's all me. I'm every artist. It's all in me. So yeah, that's something I've been dealing with. I I feel like this has become a vlog more than anything, and me just like expressing my feelings. Do you all understand what I'm saying? Like this people pleasing nature, and it's magnified by the idea that you want to make money, and to make money you do have to somewhat make yourself commercial. And I also blame the media for this, because they act like, you know, Black women don't want to be witches. And they act like we don't like paranormal. They act like we don't like sci-fi. They act like we don't like fantasy. For years they did. It took Black Panther to show them that we are here and we exist. It took BlurCon to come out and show them, you know, that we are here and we exist. Because they only want us to fit in one section, and we can't explore otherwise. So now I make art for the otherwise. And I'm starting to feel more and more myself. It may not be the most commercial work, but I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point where I can advertise myself a little bit better. Different ways I've done that. I don't know if you guys have ever been to jonquil.com, but you should check it out. I have some planners. I have a digital planner that is called Strange and Unusual, an undated planner for the curious, you know. Oh no, scratch that. That is not the name of the planner. I got it mixed up. I'm not even gonna take the planner is called Forever Spooky, an undated planner for the strange and unusual. That's a nod to Lydia from Beetlejuice. And if you go look at that, I have just basically taken characters that I've been doing for years, and I'm now utilizing them in this book. And it was really fun to tap back into that version of myself and introduce it to the world. Now I still got my diva book, you know, and I'm gonna continue to do diva stuff, but I'm happy to give people another version of Black women. And I keep emphasizing Black women because we know that they got Black men like this. Black men actually get more freedom than Black women. I said it. I said what I said. You know, they actually do when you think about it. There's a lot of Black male artists that get to have fun with their art, and they don't have the same pressure. A lot of them. So I said what I said. So I just want to know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think that there is like a push for us to create a certain type of media? Or do you think it's all in my head? Let me know. And if you like this video and you like this type of discussion, you know, let me know that too. Drop a like, drop a comment. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my page. And let's have a conversation. I really want to talk to you guys. I really want to know what you guys think. But anyway, thank you for joining me on my random vlog of the day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.